winter when we moved out of the city into our new house, and I remember how I used to stand staring out across the fields, waiting for spring to come. Jim used to tease me. He'd say, "If it arrives while I'm at the office, be sure and phone me, darling." But actually, he was just as impatient for winter to end as I was, because now, as soon as the snow melted, for the very first time, we were going to have a garden of our own. And what a garden. I could see it already in my mind's eye. Spirea? Cool white lilies? Tall tulips nodding in the sun. And iris that would outdo an orchid. Spring must have arrived while I stood there dreaming. All of a sudden, everywhere you looked, buds began to swell and burst open. Leaves unfolded and lay on their backs, looking up at the sky. Every wind carried the smell of damp earth and the wet bark of trees drenched by soft spring rain. Now came the moment we'd waited for so long. Out we went, gay as larks, wearing what the well-dressed gardener should wear, and trying not to look self-conscious in our new roles. Ah, what bright new tools, and what bright shining hopes we had. Brand new gloves over our tender city hands. The first trowelful of earth was like a ceremony, a solemn dedication. This was our earth, our very own, more wonderful than any other soil. Miraculous in the hand, our land.
We really felt sorry for them. One look was all we needed to tell us that this charming young couple didn't know which end of a bulb was up. Thought we'd be good neighbors. Tell them what they're up against. Give them a little friendly advice. I broke the bad news gently. Folks, I said, you've got about the worst soil of anybody this side of the Mississippi. It's so full of clay you could make bricks out of it. And I ought to know. I watched those bulldozers scrape it up when your house was built. Then I tried to explain why plants have such a hard time in clay or problem soil. If you could look below the surface, you'd see that the particles of clay lie overlapping each other. When water strikes them, the particles begin to absorb it as fast as they can. But the water expands them, makes them press more and more tightly together until the surface is sealed almost shut. The water has a hard time getting down, and the seedlings can't come up. When the water evaporates under the heat of the sun, the particles shrink back to their original size, and the shrinking causes cracks in the soil. Water is lost even more quickly, and the surface becomes caked and dry. If you cultivate soil like this, it doesn't solve the problem. Cultivation will break up any soil into tiny aggregates and make the soil fine and porous. But when the water strikes these clay aggregates, they disintegrate. They revert to their original structure, and the trouble begins all over again. So that's what your plants are up against, I told them, bad soil structure. Well, sir, the young lady got a funny little hurt look on her face, and her voice quavered. Thanks very much, she said, but I think it's just lovely soil. And off she went. What can you do? Some people have to find out the hard way.
We were defiant now. We were going to show our good neighbors, the Harringtons, that our soil was as good as theirs any day. What if it was sort of sticky and hard to spade up? You can't have a garden without hard work. And Jim never let out a whimper. He was game right up to the last blister. Finally, the soil was ready. Carefully, oh so carefully, I laid out each row of the seed bed. Just the proper depth, the way the book said. I took a last look to make sure I hadn't made any mistakes. Then, the big moment. In went the seeds that were to become such beautiful flowers. Meanwhile, in spite of our nosy neighbors, Jim was having a wonderful time taking plants out of pots and putting them into the ground. He had never done anything like this before, and he was amazed to find out how good he was at it. The weeks went by. Never had there been such a perfect spring. Flowers by the million blooming everywhere, except in our own garden. Even our most promising plants had turned brown and sickly. Still, we did have one prize bloom, a lovely, lonely, brave little dahlia that we'd grown from seed. And as though nature resented even this small victory, up came a storm. That's when we found out that rain can be either a blessing or a catastrophe, depending on what your soil is like. For us, it was a catastrophe. When the storm finally stopped, we went out to see what the damage was. The rain had torn deep gashes in our soil. It had flooded the plants and stayed there in muddy puddles. We walked like a funeral procession through a swamp. The final blow was the dahlia. The storm didn't seem to have bothered Mrs. Harrington at all. She was out picking flowers. Imagine my consternation when I found out they were for me. I knew she meant well, but I didn't want her flowers. I wanted my own. After the ruinous rain, the earth slowly dried. It hardened and cracked. By now, we were completely disheartened. It was obvious that we just couldn't grow anything at all, while our neighbors could have beanstalks right up to heaven if they wanted. How did they do it? Well, why not ask them? So over we went to get the advice we should have taken in the first place.
Well, up they came, sort of right around the ears, and told us their tale of woe. When they got all through, I said, well, folks, don't get discouraged. It takes a lot of things to make a garden grow, and one of the most important is the physical structure of the soil itself. Here's something you ought to try, a new chemical soil conditioner called Prelinger, made by Monsanto. It'll really do a job on that miserable soil of yours. I wish we'd had it 10 years ago when we first started our garden. It would have saved us a lot of time and a lot of headache.